Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to tell a story about Fever versus Mystics. Enjoy it. Once upon a time, in the colorful town of Hoopsville, there were two rival basketball teams, the Hoopsville Fever and the Hoopsville Mystics. The Fever wore fiery red uniforms, while the Mystics donned mystical blue. They were always competing against each other, trying to outdribble, outshoot, and outscore one another. In the heart of Hoopsville stood the magical court, where the two teams clashed in epic battles. The court was surrounded by towering trees that whispered secrets of ancient games and cheered for the players with rustling leaves. On one sunny afternoon, the town buzzed with excitement as the Fever and the Mystics were set to face off once again. The streets were filled with fans wearing their team's colors, waving banners, and chanting cheers. Among the fans was a young girl named Lily. She loved basketball more than anything else in the world. With her Fever jersey on and a basketball in hand, she eagerly made her way to the court, her heart pounding with anticipation. As Lily took her seat in the stands, she noticed something unusual. The Fever's star player, Danny, was not on the court warming up with his teammates. Instead, he was sitting on the bench, looking pale and weak. Concerned, Lily leaned closer to her friend Max and asked, "What's wrong with Danny?" Max shook his head sadly. "He's got a fever, Lily. He's too sick to play today." Lily's heart sank. Without Danny, the Fever would be at a disadvantage against the Mystics. She couldn't bear to see her team lose, especially to their rivals. Determined to help, Lily sprang into action. She dashed to the concession stand and bought a bowl of hot chicken soup, believing it would cure Danny's fever. With the soup in hand, she raced back to the bench where Danny sat, shivering and weak. "Danny, I brought you some soup," Lily said, holding out the steaming bowl. Danny looked up, his eyes brightening at the sight of Lily. "Thanks, Lily. You're the best." As Danny sipped the soup, Lily whispered words of encouragement, telling him how much the team needed him and how they believed in him. Slowly but surely, Danny's strength began to return, and his fever started to fade away. With a newfound determination, Danny stood up from the bench, ready to rejoin his teammates on the court. The crowd erupted into cheers as they saw their star player return. As the game began, both teams played with all their heart and skill. The Fever, fueled by Danny's comeback, gave it their all, while the Mystics fought fiercely to maintain their dominance. In the end, it was a close match, but with Danny back in action, the Fever emerged victorious, winning by a single point. The crowd roared with excitement as they celebrated their team's triumph. Lily beamed with pride as she watched Danny and the rest of the Fever lift the championship trophy high into the air. Despite the odds, they had overcome adversity and emerged triumphant, proving that with teamwork, determination, and a little bit of magic, anything is possible. And so, as the sun set on another day in Hoopsville, Lily knew that the bond between the Fever and the Mystics ran deeper than just a rivalry. They were two teams united by their love for the game and the joy of playing together. But little did they know, even greater adventures awaited them in the games yet to come. As the days passed in Hoopsville, excitement buzzed in the air as the rematch between the Fever and the Mystics drew near. The last game had been a nail-biter, and both teams were eager to prove themselves once again on the magical court. Lily couldn't wait for the big day. She practiced dribbling and shooting every chance she got, dreaming of one day joining the Fever and leading them to victory. But as the game approached, she sensed a strange tension in the air, as if something mysterious was about to unfold. On the morning of the rematch, Lily woke up to find the town shrouded in a thick fog. It was so dense that she could barely see the houses across the street. She hurried to the window, wondering what could have caused such strange weather on the day of the game. As she peered out into the mist, she noticed figures moving in the distance. Squinting through the fog, she realized it was the players from both teams, making their way to the court for the big game. Determined not to let the fog dampen her spirits, Lily quickly got dressed and headed out to join the crowd of fans gathering at the court. The atmosphere was electric, despite the eerie fog swirling around them. As the players warmed up on the court, Lily noticed something odd about the Mystics. They seemed to be moving with an otherworldly grace, their movements fluid and hypnotic. It was as if they were under a spell, controlled by some mysterious force. Curious, Lily leaned closer to Max and whispered, "Do you see what I see? Something's not right with the Mystics." Max nodded, his brow furrowed with concern. "I noticed it too, Lily. They're playing like they're possessed or something." Before Lily could reply, the referee blew the whistle, signaling the start of the game. The Fever and the Mystics took their positions on the court, ready to battle it out once again. From the very beginning, it was clear that something was amiss. The Mystics moved with an uncanny precision, effortlessly stealing the ball and sinking shot after shot with impossible accuracy. No matter how hard the Fever tried to keep up, they couldn't seem to break through the Mystics' defense. As the game progressed, Lily watched in dismay as the Fever fell further and further behind. It seemed like the Mystics were unstoppable, their strange powers guiding them to victory. Determined to uncover the truth behind the Mystics' mysterious abilities, Lily sprang into action. She darted through the fog, dodging past players and spectators alike, until she reached the edge of the court where the Mystics stood. Taking a deep breath, Lily called out to the Mystics' captain, a tall figure with piercing blue eyes. "What's happening to your team? Why are they playing like this?" The captain turned to face Lily, a sly smile playing across his lips. "Ah, little one, you've stumbled upon our secret. We are not just basketball players. We are guardians of the ancient magic that flows through Hoopsville." Lily's eyes widened in astonishment. "Magic? But how?" The captain chuckled. "It is a gift passed down through generations of mystics. With it, we can bend the rules of the game to our will." Realizing the gravity of the situation, Lily knew she had to act fast. If the Mystics continued to use their magic to win, it would tarnish the spirit of the game and rob the Fever of their chance at victory. With determination burning in her heart, Lily confronted the captain. "You may have magic on your side, but we have something even stronger, the power of teamwork, friendship, and fair play. We won't let you cheat your way to victory." With those words, Lily dashed back to the stands, where she found Danny and the rest of the Fever rallying together, determined to turn the tide of the game. As the final buzzer sounded, the Fever and the Mystics were tied, the score deadlocked in a thrilling showdown. But as the players looked to the captain of the Mystics for guidance, they saw a flicker of doubt in his eyes. In that moment, the captain made a decision that would change everything. With a wave of his hand, he dispelled the magic that had bound his team, allowing them to play with their own skill and determination. In a stunning display of sportsmanship, the Mystics and the Fever played out the final moments of the game with all their heart and soul. And when the buzzer sounded for the last time, it was not just a victory for one team, but a triumph of the true spirit of the game. As the fog lifted and the sun broke through the clouds, the players from both teams shook hands, united in their love for basketball and the lessons they had learned on the court. And as Lily watched Danny and the rest of the Fever celebrate their hard-fought tie, she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would always stand together as a team, ready to face whatever came their way. But little did they know, the greatest adventure of all was still yet to come. As the sun set on another day in Hoopsville, the town buzzed with anticipation for the final chapter of the Fever vs. Mystics saga. The tie game had left fans on the edge of their seats, eager to see which team would emerge victorious in the ultimate showdown. Lily could hardly contain her excitement as she made her way to the magical court, her heart pounding with anticipation. she knew that whatever the outcome, this game would be one for the history books. As the players from both teams took their positions on the court, a hush fell over the crowd. The atmosphere crackled with tension as the referee tossed the ball into the air, signaling the start of the game. From the very beginning, it was clear that this was going to be a battle for the ages. The Fever and the Mystics clashed with all their might, each team refusing to back down in the face of their opponent's relentless onslaught. But as the game wore on, the Fever found themselves falling behind once again. The Mystics seemed to have an answer for every move they made, their defense impenetrable, their offense unstoppable. Determined not to let her team down, Lily dug deep within herself, drawing on the lessons she had learned from the games they had played and the challenges they had faced together. With each pass, each dribble, each shot, she poured her heart and soul into the game, refusing to give up hope. And then, in the final moments of the game, with the score tied and the clock ticking down, it happened. Lily found herself with the ball in her hands, the fate of the Fever resting on her shoulders. With a burst of speed and agility, she drove toward the hoop, dodging past defenders with a skill that seemed almost magical. And as she leaped into the air, time seemed to stand still, the entire town holding its breath as the ball left her fingertips and soared toward the basket. And then, with a swish of the net, the buzzer sounded, signaling the end of the game. The crowd erupted into cheers as they watched the ball drop through the hoop, sealing the Fever's victory in the most dramatic fashion possible. As the players from both teams shook hands and exchanged words of congratulations, Lily felt a sense of pride unlike anything she had ever experienced before. They had done it, they had overcome adversity, faced their fears, and emerged victorious against all odds. And as she looked around at her teammates, her friends, her family, she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would always have each other's backs. For in the end, it wasn't just about winning or losing, it was about the journey they had taken together, the memories they had made, and the bonds that would last a lifetime. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars twinkled overhead, Lily knew that this was just the beginning of their adventures on the court. For in the world of basketball, anything is possible when you believe in yourself and the power of teamwork. And so, as she joined her teammates in hoisting the championship trophy high into the air, Lily smiled, knowing that the spirit of the game would live on in their hearts forever. And as the townsfolk cheered and celebrated late into the night, they knew that the legend of the Fever vs Mystics Showdown would be told for generations to come, inspiring young athletes to dream big, play fair, and always believe in the magic of basketball. And so, dear reader, as we bid farewell to the town of Hoopsville and the brave players who call it home, let us remember the lessons they have taught us, that with courage, determination, and a little bit of magic, anything is possible. And who knows? Perhaps one day, you too will find yourself on the court, facing your own challenges and writing your own story of triumph and glory. But until then, may the spirit of the game guide you on your journey, and may your dreams take flight on the wings of a basketball. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel.